Throne and Liberty final open beta recently ended. There's been a lot of talk around this MMORPG for a long time since the Korean launch, but now even more. There's still a bunch of questions regarding this game. People have been asking me, is this game going to be worth checking out? How does the pay to win work? How does the combat work? Is this going to be dead on release? How long do you expect this game to last? I'll be answering all of you guys' those questions in this video, so let's jump right in. Today's video is sponsored by LagoFast. If you guys want to check out Throne and Liberty in Korea, since the beta is over, you want to see what it's all about, LagoFast makes it very easy for you guys to check out. You can use the application very easily, get a really good ping, fix a lot of lag issues. They also have a registration feature in the game that will help you register into the game in Korea. A really good way to basically play in Korea if you want to check out new content, see what the game is all about, figure out new strategies before the global launch comes around. So check out LagoFast with the link in the description below. So what we know so far about the game is going to be releasing on the 17th of September, where you can also buy an early access to get early access of 5 days. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know why they're giving 5 days early access of buying. That's kind of crazy because it already has a lot of different ways to monetize the game. But you know, if they want to do it, so do it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be buying the 5-day early access, but we'll see. Now, after this open beta, I've seen a lot of talk around the game. I'm going to be real, it's been mainly positive talk, but I don't know if the positive talk is coming from that the game is really good, or if the positive talk is coming from it is better than what we first expected. In my opinion, I think it's better than what we first expected getting into the game. And of course, the people have been hungry for a new MMORPG. I think it's a little combination of that. There's been done some rework with the game itself, a little bit with the combat, some UIs fixes, just overall quality of life fixes. There's been some minor fixes, but overall, it's this same game that came out in Korea. And the same game that I tested. I think I have like 100 plus hours in the Korean version, and I played a little bit of the open beta, but at the end of the day, it's a very similar game to what it once was, right? With a little bit of new content, a little bit of new changes. Now, if people ask me what type of game is Throne and Liberty, I will just straight up tell you it's a PvP game. It is a mass PvP game. Mainly things that you're going to be doing in the end game is doing events that are PvP oriented. It's going to do castle sieges, which is PvP oriented. It's going to be territory wars, which is PvP oriented, with massive zergs. You can make alliances with guilds, but mainly you're going to be a part of a 100-player guild going into the zone, fighting for a resource or something. So that will be the main end game of the game. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, the other thing that you're going to be doing in this game is grinding. It's a very grind heavy game, which means that you have to grind dungeons. You can only grind certain dungeons a day for certain rewards. Of course, you can also pay to win more reward attempts. In the dungeons, you get the gear, which you will end up using in these wars. So that's how you would gear up your character. You use the PvE to gear up yourself to do mass PvP, right? That's basically how the game works. Or you farm monsters for hours and hours and hours to drop gear. So very classic style MMO where you will do a bunch of grinding basically, or get lucky. You know, you gotta, if you're good with RNG, you don't have to grind as much. But that's basically what the game content will revolve around. A lot of grinding. The dungeons will be fun at first, but once you figure it out, it's just gonna be running the same dungeon over and over again. Usually the dungeon that you can just do the fastest, that's usually what you will run over and over again. And you can get this gear, you can sell it in the auction house, you can equip yourself. That's how you basically gear up your character to then go do mass PvP or mass event PvP. Short explained, that's basically how it works. Now, when it comes to the combat itself, I'm gonna be honest, I did enjoy the double weapon combat. I do think having the double weapon is a really cool thing, where you can adjust your skills, swap them out, put the skills like you want, have 5 skills of this weapon and 3 of this, you know, adjust it like you want. I think that's really cool. But overall, the fluidity of combat, even though they did improve it a little bit, I still think there is some work to do with the overall combat. Some of the swaps can feel clunky at times, but it is a really fun concept, and I think it's not fully ready to be really good, but they're on their way there. But for me, I can enjoy it. I'm a really like classic tap target game enjoyer, so them adding some kind of tap target with a little bit of an action camera combat is good, but it's not full action combat, right? And remember, this game was a full static combat game, very mobile friendly like a game, and they made a very quick turnaround with that combat. So I did not expect it to get. I expected it to not be as good as it is because of the short time they did it on, but it's not a full-fledged amazing combat system if you compare it to like some juggernauts of MMOs, right? So that's how basically how I would explain the combat with this game. It's good, but you will probably find a much better combat in other games. So being a full PPR oriented game and the old general information about the game, we kind of have to talk about the pay to win, right? There's been a lot of questions about is AGS gonna change the pay to win in this game? Is it gonna be any changes? I looked at the video of Canon when he was doing an interview with NCSoft in Korea and asked about pay to win. Really good video. If you guys want to check it out, you should definitely watch that. But they were kind of ignoring his question about pay to win. You know, I had a lot of run-ins with pay to win with a lot of developers. I know how they are and how they don't like to answer. Like you want to know the real answer to it. And I heard they're making some small changes, but at the end of the day, it's going to be very similar pay to win like it already was, right? Which is that you can buy a currency called Lucent, which you can use in the auction house. Now, there's a lot of definitions of pay to win. Some people would say that since you can earn Lucent in the game, it's not pay to win. But the real answer is if a guy sits there for 12 hours a day farming a gear and he sells it in the auction house, yes, he can earn the 10k Lucent. Or a guy with his credit card can just buy that item from him and skip the 12-hour grind, right? So later on, when you have to min-max your stats for PvP, because it is a PvP-oriented game, that's how you win. That's how you get resources, how you get juice, right? And to get that, you need good gear. And to do that, you gotta join a big guild. And to get into the big guild, you kind of have to have good stats and good gear. And of course, be skillful. But it's gonna be the main important thing. So you will be able to swipe for better gear, for better empowerments, all that stuff. There will be an option to do that in this game, and they won't change that. They will most likely in the future add more features. That's what I've experienced with every game, is the pay to win is very minimal at the start and it starts increasing. So in my opinion, I think I will be able to enjoy this game for the first month or two, and then if I don't spend money, I think the gap will start increasing little by little, right? You can still keep up by grinding a lot, but if you don't have time to grind a lot, I don't think you'll be able to keep up with the top players. And in this game, like I said, the best guilds will control territories, and I think during the big siege wars, if you win them, you get a bunch of Lucent, right? Which is insane. So what's usually going to happen after a month or two is the guilds can make alliances between each other, and with the alliances, usually they will dominate the server, and it's going to be hard for new guilds to get through. We had this issue in New World when I was playing a bunch of New World. Usually there was certain guilds controlling certain territories and nobody could beat them, right? Because every good player wants to join them, right? Nobody wants to fight against them because they can get the good resources, they can get the juice. So it becomes really stale when it comes to the PvP overall in the game, right? Because everybody want to be part of the best. Creates a lot of guild drama. Is good. Guild drama is good, you know. I mean, if you're part of guild drama, it's not good, but you know, drama makes competition, makes the game fun. But at the end of the day, after months pass, that's how games end up, unfortunately. So I do think I would give it like around 2 months and then see how the game, what kind of changes they make. But the way it's turned up now, I think you will have a good time for the first 2 months, and then after that, I'll probably make a new video on it, but you guys will probably understand and feel out how the game feels for you. Do you have enough time to spend or not? Now we got to talk about an important thing, which is the mobile client talk. I was saying this from day one when I first started about Throne Liberty coming to PC and console. I said, when I looked at it, I was like, this is going to be a mobile game. I can already tell. And there's been rumors about a mobile game. I'm not surprised. And the reason for that is how it failed in Korea. I think if the game did really good in Korea with PC and console version, this will not be a thing, right? They won't think about making a mobile client. But since it flopped, and there's other games that are doing really good in Korea, there's like Odin Valhalla Rising, Lineage is still popping, Lineage 2, whatever. So many mobile games very similar to Throne Liberty is doing really good in Korea, right? But what happened with Throne Liberty and why it failed in Korea is the Western and the Eastern audience is very different. Eastern audience likes more pay to win, they like more auto combat, they like more static combat, right? While we like the opposite. So they ended up panicking when we gave them feedback, and they made suggestions and ideas that we gave them and put them into the Eastern game, and that Eastern audience did not like that, right? So I think that was the main reason for it failing. But I think if they introduce a mobile version of the game with the previous game, with the static combat, the boring stuff, the boring autoplay that we don't enjoy, I think it can have a little bit of success in Korea. And they have talked about a mobile client that will be coming out. I'm not sure if we were gonna get it. I think if the game does really good, we won't get a mobile client, but most likely I do see us getting a mobile client. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a separate game, if it's going to be the same game. Most likely a separate game, but this is just assumptions from me, right? Now, overall, I do think compared to the other launches that AGS has had, or betas they have had, like with New World and Lost Ark, it's not as hype for this game, Throne and Liberty, unfortunately. I wish there was more hype around it. I do think this game will get a solid number of players, but not even close to New World or Lost Ark. But I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. When I played this game in Korea for 100 hours, I had a good time in it. It was a classic style MMO. I could grind a lot of dungeons, I could grind a lot of mobs, do a little bit of PvP, had a good time in it, and I think you guys will too. So I will definitely be checking out Throne and Liberty. But let me you guys know, do you guys check out the beta? Will you guys be checking out the game? Do you think this is going to be a long-term investment for you guys? Because MMOs are supposed to be long-term investment, but I feel like recently most MMOs, it's really hard to last more than 2-3 months, because either the content gets too stale, or too much pay to win. Usually too much pay to win, right? That's the main issue with the games these days. But thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Check out this video right here. I see you guys next time with more Throne and Liberty videos. Bye bye.